came to South Africa 20 odd years ago. And I remember I was actually quite in awe of the lawyer from London. You know, you listen to Alan's story and was just incredible. I sat there thinking, wow. We had a beach party. It was actually at Sun City. I don't know if Alan will remember that, but at 2 or 3 in the morning, Alan, giving your secrets, we boogied on the sand at the Valley of the Waves. That was just absolutely incredible. And then through the years as we travel, very fortunate that with Russell, obviously when we get to these international events, it's just always such an honor when Russell says, come over, yes, Alan, say hi and things like that. So I think because of Alan and Russell's relationships, we obviously are incredibly honored to have him on the call. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to my sponsor, who's an absolute legend in Herbalife, Russell Game. Over to you, Russ.
Lizzie, thanks so much for that introduction. And I just want to check that we have Alan with us, because I know we changed calls. Is he on?
Yes, Russell, sorry, I was on mute there. I guess I wanted to make a big entrance, but I heard every word that Isabel said, and yes, okay. I remember the beach.
Excellent, excellent. So guys, you know, it's actually, I want to thank Alan for joining this call, because he really is a trip down memory lane for both me and Isabel, but particularly for me, because when I first joined the business in South Africa 25 years ago, the first serious big-time distributor I met was Alan. And I remember he'd just qualified to #1 in the world the previous year. He had his #1 pin on. And I met him for the first time down in Cape Town, actually, at a party, a cocktail party in Camps Bay that I think Chris and Jean Thompson hosted, if memory serves. And we've had a relationship going back now for 25 years. He's one of my best friends in the world. Just an amazing character. For those of you who don't know Alan, once you meet him, you'll never forget it. And our journeys, our Herbalife journeys have interlocked and intertwined over the years. We spent time, we were together in Thailand for the opening, the day that Princess Diana's death was announced. We were in the same room together, and he and I'll never forget that moment. And we've been together for some of the most amazing moments in both of our lives, not just in Herbalife, but in our lives in general. And I've learned so much from Alan over the years about how to have a positive attitude, how to approach our business, how to push forward, how to focus on the positive and never dwell on the negative. And the list could go on and on and on. But I'm not going to take much more time, because it's my very great pleasure to introduce you to my great friend, a Founders Circle member. For those of you who don't know, that means he's got 10 lines of diamonds, which is a huge amount, but he has, I don't know, Alan, you'll tell us something, over 300 presidents team in his organization.
Not yet 300, over 210, Russell.
210, okay. Oh. And you get to a certain stage and the number's not even relevant anymore. No. I think you're at that stage. And a huge chunk of the business in South Africa is in Alan's organization, from those early trips when he first came out and the country first opened. He gave birth to something that really is quite enormous in South African terms, certainly, and I think something that Alan's extremely proud of. So, Alan, no more from me. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Well, yes. Hi, everybody. And Russell and I are going to do this call together. And I'm really excited. Let me tell you how this call came about. You know, every single month, Russell is on so many committees and so contributes so much to the Herbalife going forward. I mean, he's expert in everything. I mean, I can't even hold a candle to him, except maybe on promotion and qualifications, but everything to do with products, everything to do with pricing. I mean, we call him Dr. Russell. But every month we speak a lot together. We have a lot of fun together. He's the person I really the only person I speak to virtually every day. And you wouldn't want to hear some of the conversations, or maybe you would. But one of the things I always ask him every month is, how's Isabel doing? How's Isabel doing? Because Isabel getting to president's team will be great for Isabel, but it'll also put Russell on the chairman's club. And we need Russell on the chairman's club. And Isabel's been around 8,000 points. You need to get to 10,000. So really, I'm here for you guys for the next 3 months, as often as you want, to get Isabel to president's team, Russell to chairman's club, and the rest of you to all the different positions. But if you want to write one thing down, especially if there's new people, the number one position to get to in the company is actually not part of the marketing plan. It's called Active World Team. That's what you need to write down. That is the greatest position, because before we created Active World Team, we had, you could be a supervisor. Obviously, you need to start off getting to supervisor as soon as possible. But then supervisor to global expansion team was such a big leap until Leon Weisbein, number one in the world, created the Active World Team. And the moment I knew about it, I wanted it in all the promotions and all the qualifications, because once you've done those 4 months and got your royalty to $500 halfway to global expansion team, you're really locked in. And that's something achievable by everybody. So and for those of you who've already passed that, for me, the name of the game is getting as many what we call diamonds, Active World Team members, on your first 3 levels in different lines as you can. That, to me, is the whole name of the game. And everything else will take place from that. But it's great to be on, Russell, on the 5th of the month, the first day after the end of the month, where, you know, different people have just qualified for the vacation promotions. And in the next couple of days, all the new promotions are coming out, going to be thing. The new vacation promotion, last year you had to be a global expansion team member. It's probably going to be the same this year. But anybody who's even started, like the young lady I was just talking to, you can get to global expansion team in 1 year. And if you're doing the volume every month, you'll probably be on the vacation. And it's not just a vacation, it's being around all the leaders in the company on the beaches. It's something really special. And my story, really, I learned that from 2 months after I was in the company. Most of you know my background. I was a lawyer for 15 years. I was born during a disaster, World War II, 1942, 31st of May. The bombs were dropping. My mother took me with my father down to the underground station. And there's never been a bigger disaster in my life until this disaster of this year, which has hit the whole world. So from one disaster to another. But, you know, my mother she wanted a lawyer. I became a lawyer. My mother was a very famous milliner, hat maker, and the hats went to South Africa. So the hats that your grandmothers were wearing paid for my education. They were proud when I got to Cambridge. They were proud when I became a lawyer. But I really skipped a lot of the exams. And so I scraped through. I had a partner who knew everything, started my own practice, and we did all right. But after 15 years, he'd had enough of being my partner doing all the work. And we went into business. And I wasn't the world's greatest lawyer, but I was definitely not the world's greatest businessman. And the best thing that ever happened was I put £25,000, in those days, quite a lot of money, 300,000 Rand or whatever, into a new dance studio, health studio. And within 1 year, it went broke. And my brother Bobby had given me half the money. He said, "You're an idiot." And Carol said, "You're an idiot." You know, if enough people tell you you're an idiot, you begin to believe it. Very depressing time, 42 years of age, outside, beautiful home, $400,000 home, next back wall of Buckingham Palace. but a 300,000 mortgage, 13% interest. I was going broke with all the advantages I'd had in life. But one night, everything changed. I'm sitting in this nightclub called Tramps, and in walks Christine Lewis, wearing a button that said, "Lose weight now, ask me how." Nobody in that exclusive nightclub wore plastic buttons. But for 6 weeks, she telephoned me till I finally got to a meeting. And Carol had broken her leg in a modeling accident, so she wanted to use the products even though I wasn't interested in the business. And she got great results, put me on the products, and I lost 16 pounds, 7 kilos. And the moment the products worked, I thought, maybe this is my escape. Ran to my family, said, "You're going to get rich, you're going to get rich." They said, "We're rich already. Thank you very much." And all my friends and family said, "Arrivederci." I mean, I used to have a social life where I was invited to pretty good parties. The moment I put on that button was the last party invitation ever. And so I had to find a new social life. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, little London meetings that Jim Rowan talked about. And I started to bring people who were really broke. I had a gold American Express card, but I didn't have the money for the gas for the Mercedes, but they were really broke. And they watched me bringing people, they started to bring people, and the rest is history. But I was lucky because within 2 months of qualifying as supervisor, I did that in 7 days in our first month. We used our last credit card. And the first month we made £1,200, like 12,000 rand, something like that. And that was the first money we've earned. So it was a light at the end of the tunnel. And 2 months later, a young man came to London, Royal Lancaster Hotel. I sat in the front row, took notes, and he said, country by country, language by language, I'm going to take these products around the entire world. And his name was Mark Hughes. And I was lucky, and he couldn't believe that a lawyer was willing to put on the button. He had no lawyers at that time. But, you know, I listened to everything he said. Sponsor wide, work deep, all right? Work locally, think globally. And all I've ever done for the last 36 years is followed those very simple concepts that he taught me. And I used to love going to the opening of countries, and I couldn't resist. My first time ever in Africa, came to South Africa. That's where I met Russell. And wow, what's happened this year to South Africa and Ghana and Africa and Namibia and Botswana and all the different things is nothing sort of miraculous. I don't know how they voted the United Kingdom the #1 country. I would have voted for South Africa, but it was very close. But the growth has been unbelievable. In my organization, I can't even believe what's happened. Somebody getting to 40,000 royalties in 5 years, all right? Next year on the Chairman's Club, Mombasa, and other people like that. So, Russell, I'm really happy to be on this call, to teach anything with you, all right? Russell's the expert on most things. And Isabel, come on, let's make sure you get to President's team with all these promotions, and can't wait to see you being pinned.
Alan, I think the thing that really has been fascinating to watch for us, to watch South Africa at a distance, is to see the people, the leaders like Nombasa Masetti and others in your organization achieve things that actually none of us thought was possible. Not in South Africa, you know, not just
not anywhere, almost not anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere it would have been. In the United States, it would have been a big achievement. But
exactly,
in an economy, in a country that's much smaller, it's a super achievement. And I think that your organization there started something, a wave for the whole country, by showing everybody else and blazing a trail, just what was possible. And I hope that that everyone that's on the call today, on this Zoom, understands that, because for some of you, you're coming in now and you're seeing the success, but you don't have a relative measure of it because you didn't see where we were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And the business in South Africa is 300 or 400% bigger than it was just a handful of years ago. And there's no reason that it couldn't continue to grow. I mean, you talk with the guys in your group and everything, Alan. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head, Russell. Now, for the new people, I want to tell you, you've got a huge advantage, okay? And by the way, the only advantage I've got over everybody on this call, write this down, I've got more stories than anybody, apart from maybe Russell, who's a long time, but even Russell wasn't around for my first 10 years. So I've got more stories. And what you need to do, and write this in big letters, you need to know the stories. They're all different people, all right? You need to know about the engineers who got to President's team. You need to know about those young guys on the internet who got there. You need to know about the young lady in Namibia who's got to President's team, and her sponsor was a student. So when people ask you a question, the only thing that I ever did when people ask me a question, Mark Hughes taught me, don't go can to can. You need to tell the story. So when anybody asks you, is this possible? You just say, I really don't know about that. All I can tell you is, and then you tell the story, and then you tell the story. So the more stories that you get, and that's why you need to go on all these calls, because on all these calls, you get the different stories. I think I've only missed one of the South African calls the whole of last year, these wonderful BBSs, these things you have every month. And you want to take down the stories. That's the name of the game. All that Herbalife is 40 years of incredible stories of people from every walk of life, every health situation, and knowing the stories. We are storytellers. We are the highest paid storytellers in the world. Back to you, Isabel.
Okay, so I'm just really, really excited about where we are as a team, the collaboration between obviously Lauren and Dan and myself. And guys, with having Alan on the team, who's the master of promotion, he'll be going through all the promotions we've got in place for the next 90 days. But what we really got going with us is a strategy and a plan with our 500 VIP calls once a month, that you get your volume done by the 18th of the month. You then qualify to get onto a call with an incredible person like Alan. And I must be honest with you, once you actually understand that you as a member who wants to move up the marketing plan, all you've got to do, this is what Alan taught me from the very first meeting, is to invite people. What do you invite people to? You invite people to the challenges that we have. You invite people to the Zoom calls that we have, okay? This is basically how you build your business. The more people that you invite, if you're sitting back and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, my business isn't growing, it's because you're not talking to enough people, and maybe you're not inviting them to all the meetings that we have. When you look at the promotions that we've got in place, when you look at what the support structure the team has, okay, and I'm talking about the LWGG team and our team, you've got to stay around the fire. You've got to stay connected to collect the stories, as Alan said. Because when you're speaking to somebody, sometimes they won't identify with me who bells and is really, really excited about life, but they're more states. And then I know, I know as somebody who's quite serene, and I share that story. Why? Because I've been to a meeting. I've been on a platform where I can collect stories. If anybody picks up my phone, I actually have a folder, and we're so fortunate now with a whole lot of stories on them. So when I meet a school teacher, I go, DeLeon's a school teacher, and I share that story with the person so that they can identify. And that really is what Alan taught us. That's what we got from Alan. And then if you just look at the plan that your upline, your sponsor, your mentor will give you, this is the strategy. This is, you qualify to attend the 500 volume point call. Once you've done that, you get the training that we do on the call on a Monday evening. We all do team trainings. And then your job really is to actually invite people to do their 500 volume points, okay? Because if there's you who does your 500 points, well done. You get 2 or 3 or 4 people to do their 500 points. Guess what? You've qualified as a qualified producer. NutriBullet on its way to you. And you just keep duplicating that process. And then, not as long as Alan or myself or Russell, but as fast as Mombasa, 5 years' time, you've got a line of 10, 15 people who will take you to Chairman's Club, Founder Circle, and beyond. So, yeah, maybe
so
Isabel,
you've hit the nail on the head. But let me validate.
Putting us on the spot.
Let me validate what you're saying, all right, that I learned from Mark Hughes. You've got to understand, everybody, why you're doing this. And I'm really talking to the new people here, all right? Someone like the young lady, Tosha, or whatever the name was that I was speaking to. It's why you do it. And this is what, first of all, you've got to try to qualify for everything, everybody. See, what's happened now is Mark Hughes told me, he said, talk to 10 people a day about the products and 10 people a day about the business. Legitimate conversations, even if it's a minute. Well, there wasn't social media in those days. There was no handheld telephones. So now people can talk to 50 and 100 people a day. It's changed the whole landscape. So it's all about talking to people. And by the way, when you talk to, these days, when you talk to people about the products, always mention there's a business opportunity as well. Mombasa made that very clear. Her first person she spoke to didn't talk to her about the business, missed out on millions. So that's one. So we've got the most incredible, the reason for this call on this date is that you've got the most incredible events coming up that you can take advantage, and you should take advantage of every single one, particularly the ones this month. All around the world, in the month of January, and sometimes in February, but most of people are doing it now in January because they didn't need to book rooms. They're mostly doing it virtually, virtually. Are the kickoff meetings. Write that down in big letters, okay? And these kickoff meetings are open, almost all of them, to all members. So you've got to get somebody signed up. Some of them are able to have guests on, all right? But these kickoff meetings are incredible. I'm doing the one in Norway at the end of the month. The one at the end of the month in the United Kingdom, you've got to be on that. Mark and Jill Addy, who started the Fit Clubs, that's the last weekend of the month. And Russell will give you all the details. The weekend before is the one in Paris. Now, that may be in French, okay, with the number that weekend. But who's on that? Leon Weisbein, the #1 distributor in the world. You've got to hear from him. So you've got incredible opportunities during this month. And Russell is going to give you show you now some of the dates and some of the events in order. And Isabel will make sure with Lauren that you get these dates. And here they go, that you get these later. So don't worry if you haven't got them at the moment. Make sure that you've got them online later on. And what I always did was work every 7 days. I'm only interested really in the next one. And when that's finished, the next one. And Amitat Cohen, one of the great legends, he taught me something incredible. He said, that call at midnight, you make that call. You don't leave it till the next day. You know, in other words, when you've got something in mind or someone in mind, you make sure that you make that call. And that's all you've got to do, is keep picking up the phone, keep going like this on the internet, and keep getting people. And Lauren asked a question that I read just now. She said, what do I say to people? All right. And I'm going to give you what Mark Hughes told me to say to people. So this is the only sentence you've got to write down on the business. I've never changed it for 36 years. If you've got someone, and by the way, what better time to contact your friends, school friends, all the people you know, to wish them Happy New Year. Happy New Year, how are you doing? What do people say? They say, how are you doing? What are you up to? And everybody's stuck at the moment. People losing their businesses, losing their jobs all around the world. Remember, this is worldwide. And this is the sentence. If I could show you a way to double or treble what you're making now without changing what you're doing now, would you be at least willing to take a look? Write that down. If I could show you a way, because all you want is that they take a look. You don't mind if they do it or they don't do it. You want them to take a look at the fastest growing company. If I could show you a way to double or treble what you're making now without changing what you're doing now, because most people start part-time, would you be at least willing to take a look? And you try that. I learned it from Mark. I still say it to everybody. Why reinvent the wheel? And then say, if they say yes, you say, let me tell you, this Saturday, there's this call, all right? You try and get them registered so that they can be on everything. And over to you, Russell. Tell people what are the opportunities they've got during this month, beyond what I've just said. The things with your special group, with Chris and Jean.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alan. Yeah, so guys, there's quite a few events this month. You know, it's the start of a new year, and you've got so many people making resolutions. And as Alan says, there are loads of people whose this situation, financial situation, means that they have to do something. They've either got to change or find a new job or find a new income source. And that's exactly what we offer people. We offer people the most incredible opportunity. I've seen it for 25 years, and I've seen people do things with our opportunity, not just in South Africa, but around the world, that have amazed me over the years. And the number of lives touched and changed is just incredible. And I worked out the other day from different company statistics that there are over 500,000 families around the world who work Herbalife full-time. 500,000 families who full-time depend on Herbalife for their income. And there's no reason that couldn't be 1 million or 2 or 3 million families. You know, there are billions of people in the world, and people need what our products offer. They need the health, they need the support, and they need our opportunities. So no time like the present. Let's take a look at what we've got coming up this month. And your first event is an organizational event. So that means it's just open to the people in the organizations on this call. And Virginia Chipetti, our very own 30K President's Team member from Southern Africa, from Botswana, as many of you will know, is the guest speaker for that.
She's a doctor.
She's a doctor, yes. And that's coming up on Saturday, this coming Saturday, for 3 hours. So make sure you invite. It's open to everybody who's signed as a member. Make sure you invite everybody in your organization, and even get some guests signed up so that they can attend, because she is really a powerhouse. Moving on from Saturday, our next event the following Saturday, so you're getting many bites at the cherry this month, is the kickoff event for the whole country. And this is organized by Herbalife Corporate. And that also is open to all members. And I'm not sure who the guest speaker is. Maybe Izzy or one of the others could inform us. Izzy, are you aware who the guest speaker is?
Yeah, we're just waiting for a flyer from the from corporate, actually. So we're not too sure. All we've been told is it's going to be an incredible event, open to, as you say, all members, and it's to kick off for the whole of South Africa and give us the roadmap ahead for the next 90, 180 days, the corporate event. So this is a big corporate event. As soon as we get the flyer, I believe it'll be out tomorrow or on Thursday, we'll obviously get that out to the teams, Russ.
Okay, perfect. So moving on from that, the next 2 Saturdays, you're busy. You're going to have people on these webinars. The following Saturday is the first 500. Not the following Saturday. On the 20th of January is the first 500 volume point school, which is the same one you guys qualified for to be on this Zoom. And this is hosted by South African President's team. In fact, 15K members who are just an amazing powerhouse couple. Izzy, can you just give us the full names?
Yeah, so Batista and Bongis, they're in Brett Yaitlin's organization, and he is actually such an incredible couple. We heard them speak at the extravaganza. So Bongs understands the numbers behind, so I'm just going to give the guys a head up what we're asking them to do for us. He understands the numbers and what is required, the sort of focus you need to get to the next level, to get your active world team. So he's a master of BizWorks. He really, really is absolutely phenomenal. He will give you the tools necessary to obviously grow your business. But Tiswa, well, she's just an elegant lady, incredible woman, and she sponsored her sister, who's awesome. That's why she's executive press team, who's also president's team now. So they're flying heart of gold. So I would do whatever I can to make sure you get your 500 volume points in by the 18th to get to that call. But the trick is you guys have all done your 500 volume points, okay? So it's not about you qualifying, that's a given, because you know the value you get from these calls. It's about how many people you can actually get to do the 500 volume points to get onto that call with Bats and Bombs, okay? So that's the name of the game. Promotion is in place for you to qualify, yes, absolutely. But if you want to grow and get to the most prestigious, because a lot of you on the call need to get to the active world team, as Alan said, it's the place in the marketing plan, then think about this. Get 2 or 3 people to qualify with you and get into this call with Batista. And it's just for our team. So it's with Dan, Daniela and Lauren and myself. It's our organization. And we were super excited about that call. So that's on the 20th of January, Wednesday evening.
Great. Moving on, in February, there's another organizational meeting at 2,500 volume point. Is that an active supervisor, Izzy, or is it, yes, for those who are active supervisors in January?
Yeah. So it's for people who do it's called our 2,500 royalty school, right? So we do them once a month together with LWG. We've also again got an incredible guest. So brand new people on this call can actually still qualify. Obviously, if they do 2.5, get to the supervisor position, and they will qualify to get supervisors who do the 2.5 this month. They will get there. Absolutely.
And you know, guys, what I learned from Alan all those years ago is just qualify for everything. Get focused on. That's the beauty of Herbalife.
Try to qualify. Try to qualify.
You didn't tell me try. You said I had to.
Well, but you were a different level. All right. Shame on you if you didn't. But for most people, so long as they're trying, they may not make it. I didn't always make it. The first big thing I didn't qualify for. And I gave up on the night before. Never forget, felt sick because I gave up. But really, for most people you're promoting to, it's try to qualify, so long as they're trying to qualify, because you'll all have people who qualify every time, like Russell does. That's okay. But what you want is to get, you don't get rich, you get rich, as Jim Rohn said, from the people who otherwise might not try, but because you promoted it, they tried. By the way, just to tell you, Russell, I'm looking at all these beautiful faces on this call, and then I see Chris Thompson. I don't say he's not a beautiful face, but it's so good to see him nodding away, still there.
Can I quickly answer a question, Russ? We just had somebody ask, can I qualify for this if I'm a brand new supervisor and I do my 2.5? Absolutely. If you've just qualified or qualifying supervisor and you do your 2,500 volume points at the 50%, i.e. either you or your team members, then you definitely get into the royalty
Oh,
schooling.
Chris and Jean, both of them. My God, now I can see you. Oh, wow.
Good to be here for you, Alan.
Alan, you are our mentor, our teacher, our master.
Oh, you keep saying that,
Master
Chris.
of the universe.
Oh,
Russell and Izzy and I and Jean used to be sitting there in the front row taking notes. You launched the country. Of course we must be here.
it's good to see
but
you
not that
both.
stupid.
I had to give you a shout out. Big kiss to both of you. Happy New Year. Sorry, Russell.
No problem. All good. Hi, Chris. And I'm moving on to another corporate event in March. Early March is the LDW, the Leadership Development Weekend. And your special guest is actually from the UK, a guy that Alan and I know very well, and he is going to do an amazing job of training you guys on the philosophy that's carried him to the 20K and really built a huge business over the last few years.
Yeah, don't underrate this guy. His name's Danny McMahon, all right? First of all, he's got the huge advantage of being Jewish. Now, that's a ferocious, all right, Chris? But secondly, he's sponsored by Eddie Lamar, and it was actually Eddie who met Dora and Andre over at some Tony Robbins course sometime. But he's the real leader of the group. He now lives the lifestyle in Marbella, and I heard him on the BBS. He is as good as anybody. You cannot undersell Danny McMahon. I'm a big fan. Sorry, Russ.
No, that's great. Thanks, Alan.
And
so try and qualify for that event, guys, and there's a variable qualification.
So before we actually continue, Russ, I just want to talk about the motivational speaker that corporate have seriously gone through. I don't know what to get this guy, but his name is Lucy, and I hope I'm saying this right, Timber Choir. But he's a entrepreneur, he's an author, qualified author, one of the richest guys, and he actually is going to be talking to us about how to actually grow in a downturn economy, when the economy is down. So as a motivational speaker, when corporate bring in these outsiders, okay, who aren't really with Herbalife, but they're there to give us life lessons and show us how we can grow in an economy that really isn't growing, I think that's going to be of great value as well. Yeah. So there's the two of them. It's this incredible speaker from the UK, and then also this entrepreneur also. Yeah. Sorry, you can go on with the qualifications, Russ.
Yeah, so the qualifications, the Friday afternoon is an active supervisor school. That's the same sort of qualification that was for that February event that we just discussed a few minutes ago. 2,500 volume points over 3 consecutive months to get to active supervisor. And then the Saturday and Sunday training is open to everybody who achieves 2,500 cumulative over 3 months. So this is what we call our MAP qualification. And if you do this for the first time, you win a blender, but you'll also qualify for this event. And this is an event that's going to help you get to supervisor and get you consistent. So a really important business building tool this particular LDW has. And finally, we're going into the May school. So you guys can see this calendar. I'm sure by now you're feeling punch drunk and you're not going to remember these events one from the other. But the idea that you get from this is that there's always a milestone for you to think about next. Something for you to stretch for and try to qualify to so that you can keep your business moving forward. And that's the most important thing in Herbalife. You know, your business is never always going to go up. You're going to have some times when you feel challenged. But if you, the beauty of Herbalife is what has happened in the past doesn't matter. It's what you do going forward that counts. And there's always a next event and another thing for you to refocus and to get yourself going again with, and that's the idea behind all these qualifications. So just keep using them to build your own personal momentum, build your own skills, and keep your business moving on. And that's the MAP qualification.
Yeah, Russell, you know, just as we're finishing up, I just want to tell you, the name of the game, I'm assuming that it's serious people on this call tonight. You all qualified for it. Not only you qualified, you got on the call. Sometimes people qualify and they don't get on the call, all right? That's like having the shake on the shelf and you don't use it. I learned a lot of things from Jim Rohn as well as Mark Hughes, all right? Have the right philosophy, care more about your customers and distributors than you care about the money in your pocket. Have a good attitude, especially when you've got a bad attitude. Doesn't matter what activity you do, whatever you do works for you. And I never ever chose one thing. I just learned the whole menu. Learn the menu, write that down so you can tell it to your new distributors and let them choose what they want to do. And then number 4, this was the real deal. It's an American phrase. Write it down. Results is the name of the game. Results is the name of the game. And not just results, not just I'm going to be active world team, which, or for you, Isabel, I'm going to be president's team. What you need to do now is let everybody know by when. By when. Are you going to get your pin by the next extravaganza in September? That means you're going to have done first month, June, July, August. June is the first month you've got to do it. It gives you a by when. I think you can do it much earlier. And all of you have a next level. And if you set yourself, look, the whole name of this game is work harder on yourself than you ever do on the business. It's all about working on yourself, all right? I've had mostly I've had ups rather than ups and downs, but it's always about working on yourself. You know, who am I going to talk to next? And that's the secret ingredient, you know. That's what makes so many winners right now in South Africa. People like Senatembe recruiting 26 people a month in the townships and everything, if you will. Just imagine how driven. And why was he driven? Why was he driven? Here's the thing you need to write down. If you've got a big enough why, you'll find out how. Don't worry about the hows. If you've got a great big why, that you want the best education for your children, that you want to support charities, you want the house of your dreams, you want the car of your dreams, whatever it is, if you've got a big enough why, you'll find out how. And for me, it's interesting because actually my life hasn't changed much since I got started, Chris. I just got the security. I just know I'm not going to lose it. I still live in London. I've still got the, you know, same sort of things. But let me tell you what I've got in addition to that. And thank you, Russell, for putting me on the call tonight. When I was 42 and I found Herbalife, I would not say, with all my advantages, I was leaving much of a legacy, with all the education and everything. Now, listen, I intend to be here for another 25, but at least I know I've been able to touch so many people's lives who've touched so many other people's lives, who've touched so many other people's lives. And that is a really special thing, to build something where you leave a legacy. And you've already done that, Isabel. Now's the time for you to get to the next level. You're the most likely to put Russell on the Chairman's Club, which is an advantage for all of you, by the way. Once he's there, getting the information as soon as possible. And Lauren, thanks for helping Isabel get this thing set up. Send my love to your songwriter boyfriend, husband. What am I talking about? And you know what I think of all of you in South Africa. And I hope to be there for the South African extravaganza. I hope it takes place. Be safe. Back to you, Russell.
Thanks, Alan. Thank you so much. Thanks for giving your time to everybody here. And we're going to finish these promotions by just talking briefly about the vacation, because that's something that everyone on this call could qualify for, even if you're brand new. And it's such a worthwhile thing to do. For many people, it's the first time they go on a fully paid vacation. It'll be overseas. It's a really exciting time. And I know for many of the South Africans in Herbalife, it's the vacations, the travel, the lifestyle that really gets them excited and gets them motivated. And this next vacation promises to be just as amazing as others in the past. The actual qualification criteria will come out, as Alan said, in the next 48 hours. So you guys want to watch out for that, and you want to set your sights on that and set your thinking, your planning. And if you really want to be on the vacation with the top leaders in the company, you want to call your upline and say, Izzy, Dan, whoever it is, I want to be on that vacation. Tell me what it is I have to do. And really get yourself focused on it and get going. Because I remember my very first vacation in Herbalife. It was a hotel in Tenerife. I think Chris and Jean might have been on that. I don't know if you remember it. The whole place was painted blue. Herbalife didn't have that much money in those days, so it was more of a 3-star than the 5-star hotels we get today. But it was great. I got to rub shoulders with the other top people, and we were all competitive with each other. And that's how you make lifelong friendships, and that's how you learn. You learn about what's possible, and you get all the inspiration you need to help you build your business going forward. So guys, that would be my advice. I'm going to turn this over to Izzy because I'm not sure if there's any other housekeeping she needs to have. But thank you, Alan, and I wish you all a happy new year.
Thank you so much, Russell. And Alan, I feel like you were talking to me this evening. No pressure, but yes, we've got to get Russell to Chairman's Club, so we'll definitely rally the team. So I thank you. And you're so right. I was just actually thinking as you were finishing your call, you are a legend. You're leaving a legacy. You know, one can get very emotional when I think of the lives. You're talking really thousands and thousands of lives that you've impacted. You can sit and you can train and you can share your words of wisdom. But it was just an absolute honor to have you on our call. And I'll do an easy. My team will know. Get quite emotional. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, so I'm not going to say anymore. I'm just going to say, guys, we've got work to do. Let's all get to the extravaganza. Let's get Alan to pin us. And thank you, Chris, Jean. I'm seeing you guys nodding and smiling. Dan, Lauren, my collaborators, colleagues. Guys, we will see you all on our next 500 volume point call. Thanks, guys. Lauren, do you want to unmute everybody and everybody can do a huge shout out to Alan, please?
Yeah, I think Dan can do that. We are so grateful, Alan. What an amazing call. Thank you, forever grateful. The master of promotion, the legend of everything. I think everything that you've said, I can't tell you how many times I have said it myself, listened to you, learned from you. I mean, it's like you ring in my head constantly when we hear these things. It's just amazing what we have all gained from you over all these years in Herbalife. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you so much, Alan, for taking the time out for us tonight. We appreciate it.
Have a great evening.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Guys, can unmute yourselves if you want to send Alan some love and thank you. And we'll see you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
I think my unmute function's not working, so no one can unmute themselves, but you can just... Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.